Latinos are one of the largest groups in America, yet we don't walk like it. We walk like welfare cases asking for handouts. It's time to stop begging for the crumbs. It's time to unite and take our power back. We can start by reviewing the history of those that went before us and get some pointers on how they did it.
I think a lot of artists before us, a lot of leaders, kept quiet. And there was not that many leaders. There was, Ricardo Montalbán, Justicia, Ray Andrade. Politicians were not really involved. They were scared. It's an industry that's very powerful. And if you speak up, they're going to blackball you. Yeah. And they're going to blacklist you. But sometimes you just say, what the heck? It's fun. You're making a difference. Yeah. And that's what kept us going.
That again is part of our desperate attempt to hold on to something, because it's the only thing. We don't see the future. We don't see around us. We're not thinking about our own audience. We're only thinking about, they have that show. We've got to focus on then keeping that show. Instead of us thinking, well, what is this producer doing? What is that writer doing? What is that director doing? We have to have a slew of concepts ready to go.
And have a slate that we could present.
How many of us are approaching people who have venture capital? How many of us are actually sitting down with Netflix, with Hulu, with YouTube? That's where we're lacking, and we need that kind of opportunity to talk among ourselves and say, okay, how can we help each other?
We're sitting there looking at each other thinking, you know what? One of us is going to walk out of here with a job. And all of a sudden, BAM! The door opens up and here comes Eric Estrada, dressed like an astronaut or a cowboy or something. He's obviously working on the lot. He comes right in and the casting director comes, oh, Eric, come on in. And we're looking at each other like, what the hell is going on? Everybody started being really negative. He comes out and he's walking around and he's going, what do you think? What do you think? $5,000. He just got his teeth capped. Right? Well, you had to be working to afford that. So he was going on, and he walks out, and they're all grumbling. I go, no. Guys, you got this all wrong. What you need to do is pray that he gets this part, that the pilot gets picked up, and it runs for 10 years, and we'll never have to
worry about it again.
And guess what? It happened.
Yeah.
It was called Chips.
Yeah.
And once Eric got the part, we all started working.
We're afraid of each other because I don't want you to make it. It's mine. Yeah. I'm going to make it.
Right.
What? I got the better project. Right. They're going to give me $10 million to do this. Oh, no, not her. No, please. My project's better. And that's the infighting that goes on, that avarice element within us. Some guy came to me, he says he had $75,000. And I was working on projects, but I didn't have one ready that I could use $75,000. So there was another guy that I knew, I was in Nosotros, and I said, well, give him the money. And that guy came in, did his movie, and then turns out that the money was actually from the mafia, and I didn't know that. So.
But it got put to good use.
He did his movie, though.
There you go. It got put to good use.
And I saw the video in a 99-cent store once, and I'm going, holy moly. And people I knew were in it and so forth. But the fact is, he got it made. Yes. He sat down, he and his wife, and they put it together, boom, because he was ready. I wasn't ready.
Yes, and that's the other thing.
But I could have stopped
it. Be ready.
Yeah, but I could have just said, no, it's mine. I'm going to keep that money and not make anything and hold back. And you can't do that. You have to come together as a family. And when there's trust, then you trust that that person is going to move forward because they're ready, that they're going to take you with them. I saw a void, and then I became a board member of the Screen Actors Guild for 8 years, and working to support the talent that wasn't getting their voices heard.
We have some people doing a few things for Latinos in Hollywood, but we don't really have that grassroots where people are pushing the door open.
The unions also need to lighten up and give some leeway to these organizations. A lot of these grassroots organizations have become, they're all union, but sometimes either they use it as an excuse or not. Sometimes they don't get their members involved in the grassroots movement.
Two of you started something that had never been done before, which was to do showcases featuring Latinos for the industry. It had never been done before.
Right.
All we need is give them an opportunity to showcase themselves. And if they're qualified, then you hire them.
I dated someone who had money. So I had the money, you had the
I
power.
won't go into that. We were able to, I don't know what, there was something that they saw in us,
Right.
all of us, you know, that they said, well, we got to go.
You kind of glide through it, but the truth is you had big balls. And I mean it in a good way.
Can we say the beat?
Yeah, I'm saying big balls.
We would just not talk to talk. We would talk and knew that there was substance there, and they knew we were right. You know, we had Ricardo that was very well respected, very conservative, they thought, in the industry in his own ways, but very outspoken, but very powerful. They feared him because when he spoke, people listened. Whenever we called them, they were there. Whenever we asked for their help, they were there. We took on the unions also because they also were very racist. Even though in the old days,
removed.
yeah, they'll be and
From
they had nothing else.
office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they hate to lose that. So we did whatever we had to do it, but we always did it with respect and nice, and I think that's what they saw.
It's family. We are family. And I can't emphasize it any more than that. And it started to build. And then people wanted to be a part of the organization again.
What would you like to see happening for Latinos in the business moving forward?
I would like them to trust us more.
We have a lot of power we're not using it. I think that's what has happened nowadays. We need to start doing it. We need to start meeting again.
And I'm not tribal. I'm not for Mexicans. I'm not for Chicanos. I'm not for Cubans. I'm not for Puerto Ricans. I'm for all of us.
Now take what you've learned here and add to it. Take ownership and stand in your power. Let your voice be heard. Unite with your Latinx family. Organize. Know that you have awesome talent, engaging stories, and rich resources right in your hand. It's time to take advantage of all of that and make the most of it. Produce your own projects and then get a little bolder. Buy shares in movie studios, television networks, and distribution companies so that you can have a say in the change you want to see take place. Pa'lante.